What are the advantages of using Spring Boot? It simplifies the complete life cycle of building a Spring application from creating the project to development, configuration, deployment, and finally operating it in production. Let's understand the major advantages one by one. First, faster project setup. With Spring Initializer, we don't have to manually create the project structure and configure everything from scratch. We can select the build tool, Java version, Spring Boot version, packaging type, and dependency required by our application. The initializer generates the project. We can simply open it in our IDE and start development. So the Spring Boot makes the initial project setup extremely quick. Second is faster development. One of the biggest reasons for Spring Boot's productivity is auto configuration. The Spring Boot examines what libraries are available on the class path and automatically configure the mainly common required components. For example, if we are using a web application and the appropriate web dependencies are available, the Spring Boot can configure the infrastructure required for starting the application. This significantly reduces the amount of setup developer has to perform manually. Third is less boilerplate configuration. Traditional Spring application could require a significant amount of explicit configuration. Spring Boot follows sensible default and the idea of convention over configuration. Instead of configuring everything, we normally configure only the things that are different to our application. When the application requirements are different, we can provide our own configuration and customize the Spring Boot behavior. Fourth, simplified dependency management. Spring Boot provides starter dependencies. Instead of finding and configuring every related library individually, we can add starters for our capability we need. Spring Boot also manages compatible dependency versions for us. This makes the build configuration smaller and reduces the risk of incompatible library version. Fifth, easy build and deployment. Spring Boot application can be packed as executable jar files with an embedded web server. That means we don't necessarily have to install and configure a separate application server just to run the application. We can build the artifact and run the application directly. This also makes the Spring Boot application convenient for modern container based deployments. 6. Production ready and observable. Building an application is only part of a job. Once it reaches the production, we need to understand whether the application is healthy or how it's behaving. Spring Actuator provide production oriented capabilities such as health information, metrics, and management endpoints. This is extremely useful when the application is running in production. Seventh point is environment friendly configuration. A real application normally runs in multiple environments such as development, testing, staging, and production. Spring Boot support externalized configuration. The configuration can come from property file, YML file, environment variable, command line argument, or any other supported configuration source. So we can deploy the same application artifact into different environments while changing the configuration externally. This is particularly useful for containers and cloud deployments. These are the few advantages of Spring Boot. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching Architect's Diary.